Good morning, everybody. The Rad Picker here. What's up? Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. Man, I've done a couple of videos and I messed them up and I haven't pieced them together or edited. So I thought I'd hop into the safest place I know, the Ford F-150, so I could get some of these F-150 reseller confessions out to y'all. As some of y'all know, I went to the Nashville Reseller meetup this past weekend. I had an absolute blast. I got to meet some of my heroes in the business. Like I said, Kevin the Commonwealth Picker, the Commonwealth Flipper. Check out his channels. Got to talk with him a little bit. He's a busy man, but I love you, Kevin. It was great talking with you. We had some discussions about, the business and certain things, and I really like the guy. I got to put my arms around Big Mike, Death Pile Picker. I made a little video joking about a little inside joke we have on Dibdit about his hygiene, and of course it's all a joke. He is a real clean guy, handsome fella. I won't go that far, but no, I really like him. Really good dude. So it's good to see them face to face. You have a little bit of relationships online, and it's great to see people in person. I got to meet the guys from the Reseller locker room. Man, really funny guys, great guys. And I look forward to, there was mention of me possibly being on a podcast with them. I hope that happens in the future. No guarantees, but I look forward to it if that is the case. Got to meet a lot of resellers that we talk to online. If you're not on district buying, you may not understand this, but you should be on district in all the marketplaces over there buying. You can certainly source on there if you are a reseller. It's a great place to source. I got a lot of boxes last week. I put some videos out on my shorts on Instagram, on TikTok about some of the sourcing I did. My partner on Tuesday nights, Hard Rock Resales, I source from him. And the weird part is sometimes I sell the things I buy off my partner on our same show later, and sometimes vice versa. So it's possible to source about anywhere. I got to go to the Nashville Goodwill bins. I've never been. People said it's crazy, and I use that same term, and I'm not sure that explains it. I've never been there in particular on a busy day. The day I went wasn't really all that busy, but picture bins the size of my truck with wheels on them, with casters, and filled with, and they've got them separated in categories, so clothing or bedding or hard goods. And every hour on the hour, whether you're looking at them or not, a few gentlemen will come out and they'll just start rolling those bins away. They go back into a warehouse and they bring them back out filled again. It is wild. The stuff you can source there is off the charts. And I guess, the secret's out. Shouldn't probably broadcast it, but it's public knowledge. If you're a reseller and you can't find a place to source, I'll just put it to you like this. If you can't find items, or you think there's nothing out there, you probably need to do something else. And I know people live in different areas that don't have access. If you're in a rural community, I get it. But if you're anywhere near civilization, if you can't find items to sell, you probably aren't cut out for this. There's several things in reselling that separates those who can actually do it for a living and those who can do it for hobby and those who should not be doing it, or just could dabble in it for fun but don't gamble on it. And one of those being sourcing. That's the number one. If you can't source, if you don't know what items to look for, there's so much technology out there. You don't have to read books or learn from a million people. I mean, all the knowledge is there on your phone. If you can't do that, it's probably not a good idea for you to try to make a living at it. The other thing is, I'm sure way better resellers than me who do it part-time, for certain. Been doing it for years and years. I'm a newbie. I've been buying and selling stuff my whole life, but as far as being in the reseller community, I'm definitely a newbie. And it's funny because I'll see some of these people do it part-time. They got full-time jobs. I respect them immensely. I don't know how they do all that, because I'm working from the time I get up to past the time my family's in bed, and I could just keep going. I don't want to keep that pace, but right now I'm on the grind to get my processes together, to know what works, what doesn't work, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, or mistakes I'm making. But the other thing would be doing it professionally. Now, I decided to do this as a professional here several months ago. Like I said, for those of you who don't know, I was in the construction industry. I'll always have a toe in those waters. I'll always do some sort of wood project. I am a carpenter at heart. I'll always be a carpenter. It's kind of a guild, so to speak. It's something that you wear with a badge of honor if you are a good carpenter. And I've been blessed to have good teachers, mentors, bosses, customers that allowed me to learn the craft. So I will always be a carpenter at heart. You know what I mean? But I am a reseller now. That's what I do for a living. That's how I feed my family. I love it. It is a lot of work. And one of the things I was reminded of, speaking of the bins, was digging through used stuff. Now, many of us have been to yard sales where people just lay stuff out on a tarp, piles of clothes, and you dig through that. And I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, but not so bad I can't get my hands dirty, but I have to wash them. I don't like other people's hygiene on me. I can barely keep up my own hygiene. Side note, if you're a reseller, I notice your hygiene slowly dwindles. And I don't mean not being clean, but shaving, and you're always in your space working and long hours and running to the post office. You don't see a lot of people, so you can tend to let your hair grow out and beard. And I got these shorts on right now that probably should have been thrown away 2 years ago, but I don't care, because I'm going to go in here and fool with Barbie dolls, old radios, clothing, and whatnots. So, that being said, back to the piles of stuff and hygiene and what it takes to be a reseller. At the Nashville bins, picture those tarps with clothes, but it's 10, 15 times, 20 times that amount piled, and you don't know what's at the bottom. You may pull out something new with tags that looks pristine. You may pull something out, you don't know what's on it, and you just drop it, try to push that aside, pull stuff out with hair on it, with all sorts of different stuff, because they're not cleaning the stuff, folks. You are getting stuff out of used bags. And my daughter's about to go to track meet here, so she waved at me. I won't yell at her for ruining this entire video. Just kidding. Love you, Allie. Run fast. I'll be there shortly. That's another good thing about being a reseller. I'm going to get to go watch my daughter run while I'm packing and shipping. By the way, I don't recommend going to Staples, but I won't be too mad at them. If they want to sponsor me, I will talk good about them. But boxes right now are buy 5, get 50% off. So I'm getting boxes for around 75 cents. That's a great buy. 12 by 12 is the best size for pricing. Unless you can go under a pound, But that being said, going through the bins, getting your hands on stuff, man, that's what it takes to source. Now, you don't have to do that. A lot of people do glass and glass only. They may do, and you're dealing with glass, you're going to estate sales, even yard sales, stuff with the glass up there. You just go touch that glass. Not a whole lot of nastiness. Of course there can be, but it's really not like clothing and digging into bins of stuff. But that being said, I don't know how in this day and age you can't make it if you live near one of those bins. As the new thing's out, It's no secret. You could go there and pick up stuff with no cost of goods and run auctions, and whatever sells and you buy that stuff, you would have no cost of goods in it. So there's no excuse in my book to not be able to source. I did go to an awesome sale in McMinnville, Tennessee, and I picked up some gems. I was hoping I had this stuff next to me. I actually had it, did a video on my porch yesterday, had the stuff there. I was going to show you it, but someone started cutting a tree by me behind my house, and I just stopped the video, and I wasn't going to try to piece it together and edit it. So this is what you get. You're in the F-150 and we are talking reselling, and we don't care. We're in the driveway at the Rad Cave, and that's what we're going to do. And you know, you can fill in the Stone Cold line there. But if you're a new reseller and you are struggling, I have advice. I am not an expert, but I try to surround myself with experts. That is something I learned. I'm not real smart. I am not analytical. You will lose me if you get into numbers. I am good at math, which is ironic, but I'm good at geometry. I'm a carpenter. Angles and stuff, I'm actually really good at that. But analytical stuff and just crunching numbers, the accountant type stuff, administrative type numbers, is way outside of my expertise. I hate it. I can't pay attention. I like to listen to it as long as I can retain some, and I keep trying to do that to try to sharpen some skills, but that's not me. So that being said, being around people that are better than me, it rubs off. So having that knowledge, I will share a little bit of that I retained with you, is one, sell-through rate. It's so important, and I still struggle. I am still learning how to be disciplined with buying things, not looking at things for the sentimental value or the nostalgia sake, because I like collectibles and that sort of thing. But knowing that if you buy something, that it may not sell quickly. You can't expect people to just buy something today. You have to know that it's going to sit. For instance, just the other night, there's many things on eBay that I've taken off thinking, oh, it's not selling. And the truth was, I hadn't even had them listed for an entire year. Some of these professional resellers and part-time resellers and people who have been doing it for, 5, 10, 15, 20 years have stuff sitting for 3 and 4 years. Now, ideally, if it's that long, you should not have it. It's not a good item. It's not in demand. However, if you have the space, you can do whatever you want, and stuff will eventually sell. But there is a supply and demand, and sell-through rate are the things that will sell within 90 days, okay? And the higher that percentage, the faster they will sell. If you have an in-demand item and there's 1 listed and 10 sold, that item will more than likely sell the day you put it on in a lot of cases. So look for items that have a high sell-through rate. Whatever platform you're on, whether you are on eBay or not, eBay, you can take a picture of an item. It'll tell you how many are listed. And again, we don't go by listed prices, because you can ask any number you want. I can ask $10 billion for this hat right here. It doesn't mean it's worth $10 billion. You can go to the filter and click sold, and that will tell you a number of how many have sold based on the last 90 days. And that will determine what the sell-through rate is. I know I've belabored this point, and on every video anyone's ever done has talked about this, but this is in particular to the new resellers. People like me who are watching people and trying to learn. So look for the items that have at least a 60% sell-through rate, okay? So that's number one. Number 2 is set some goals. I am the world's worst at setting goals. I don't write stuff down. I fly by the seat of my pants. I am good about adjusting as the day goes on, but it leaves me in frustration sometimes because I don't accomplish maybe the original thing I set out to do, and I end up a little frustrated. So setting goals and setting chunks of time aside for certain tasks is a huge thing, and I am not doing that like I should. So I'm being a little hypocritical here, but telling you this as somebody who knows I need to be better at that, because that's how you become more efficient. Time is money, and I know that's so cliche, but every second in this game matters, and that's hard for me because I'm like, well, if you do all that, you drive yourself crazy. But that's not true. If you set aside time and you stick to that, you will accomplish at least a major portion of what you need to get done. And if you don't, you'll find yourself spending a lot of time maybe moving the same items, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm in a space crunch. So I am constantly moving from my garage to the shed out back to my 2, 3 storage units and back again. And that's such a waste of time. Now, I don't have much of a say-so in that right now, or much control over that. But what I am trying to do is limit my inventory and get rid of stuff that's maybe a slow sell-through rate, because I don't have the space for it. So I shouldn't be sourcing those sort of things. I need to be getting fast-moving things and get them gone. So I'm looking outside here. The rain may be coming in. I've got a couch and an electric recliner sitting out here. I just bought a tarp from Harbor Freight. I had 6 million of these as a contractor. It's amazing I had to go buy a tarp now. But I've got to cover these. It's going to rain. I'm going to a track meet, so I'm going to cut this a little short. But I did want to say, shout out to everybody I met in Nashville. The resellers, those I didn't get to shake hands with. There were a lot of people there. But man, it's a great community. Our host, Nashville Resellers, American Bubble Boy, go check them out. Get all your bubble wrap from there, and shipping supplies. Thank you for sponsoring. Thank you to Commonwealth. Thank you for District, Dibbed It, First Class Treasures. Thank you for all the followers. Sorry, I'm gonna need a drink of water here. Hello. Thank you for everyone for following. Thank you everyone who comes to my live shows and buys, whether I'm on First Class Treasures, Dibbed It, not on Whatnot a whole lot. Thanks to those who come to the eBay store. Thank you to all of those who messaged me this last week, encouraging words, just making decisions on what to do next. And a lot of these people, a lot of you guys out there have reached out and just said encouraging things. And that's what I always say is, I am going to be the positive guy. I certainly have the capability of being negative. I'm quick-witted, sharp-tongued, and a little foolish sometimes. But my mission here is to help people, to be part of a community, to build it up. I have no interest in being famous again. I have interest in making money and providing for my family. I have interest in hanging out with like-minded folks. I have interest in learning from those people who have done it before me, who have paved the way, so to speak. I have interest in bringing up people with me, working horizontally with people, below people, and even if I have to lead. That is my mission statement for the Rad Picker. So again, I love you all. I mean that. And Mike, that pile picker, is a good dude, and he really does smell good. If y'all didn't get the joke, it's an inside joke. But wonderful people. Thanks again. Again, shout out Kevin. Love you, buddy. Keep doing what you do. Stay positive. Shout out J-Rod. Thank you for all you do for me. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it rad. Keep picking. And let's go. Till the next time.